What's up, Bulldogs? All right, I'm going to do one of those videos again where I just read an email here. I think this is kind of interesting. It'll apply to a lot of you guys who are ready to give up on life, feel like you're a failure, that you can't succeed. And, you know, hopefully this will offer you some encouragement. I try to present a realistic, pragmatic perspective here. If you guys are just joining me for the first time, I'm John from BulldogMindset.com. On this channel, I teach you how to be a man. I teach you how to build financial independence, how to get the physique you want, how to get the girls you want, how to go from the victim mindset to the Bulldog mindset. If you guys haven't already, click up here, take the Bulldog quiz, and I would appreciate a like and a subscribe. I mean, is that too much to ask? Is that too much to ask for giving my best life to you guys by answering your questions? And all right, so I'm going to keep the name to protect the innocent. He says here, we'll call this guy Chris. He says, Chris says, I am completely unable to obtain my high school diploma GED. Okay, I've dropped out of high school at 18 due to the fact that I just absolutely hated it. And ever since I've been living with my folks. And after a few rough patches, I decided to go for it and get my GED. So let me just start with this. Okay. And again, guys, you know me. This is some tough love here. All right, Chris, I love you, man. I want to help you. All right. But I got to tell you something. All right. You don't drop out of things because you hate them. All right. So it's not an excuse. It's not valid. So you hated high school. Guess what? I hated high school for a lot of high school. I hate a lot of things. All right. But I just stuck through them anyway. I hated ultra marathon training a lot of the time. I mean, sometimes I liked it, but most of the time I hated it. But I kept on going, right? I kept on going because that was my goal, because I want to achieve something. I want to get something. Most of the things in life that you guys want to get, you're going to have to do something you hate. All right. You know, it's not, I hate that phrase. Like, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. That is such BS. It's not true. It's not true. You will always work. Like, and you don't want to avoid this. Okay. The whole point, like, you should think about being here on this earth as leveling up your character. All right. So you got to grind it out. You got to do some stuff that is tough, that causes you some pain, that's causes you some discomfort, so you can become stronger. You know, what good is it if you make all the money in the world, if you have all the pleasures in the world, okay, and everything comes easy for you, and you're fragile like a piece of glass? If the first thing that hits you breaks you and causes you to crumble, what good is that? What good does that do? It's better to be a hardy man, all right? To be a real man. To be a real man, you need to be able to deal with adversity. You need to be able to take a few right hooks, okay? You need to be able to not have that glass jaw and fall down the first time life hits you, because life is going to kick you in the balls multiple times. Okay. It is going to happen. But I just want you to understand that quitting things because you hate them, even if you absolutely hate them, that's the wrong path to go. In fact, a lot of my coaching clients right there, they'll say, I hate my job. My boss sucks. And I empathize with all those things. I'm like, look, I get it. I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise, but you should not leave that job. And they're like, what do you mean? I came to you to get some help here. And I'm like, okay, I'll tell you why you shouldn't leave the job. Listen, I can help you get another job, maybe even make more money and find a better environment. But this is good for you because you're struggling, right? If you're in an environment that you hate and you can't deal with that, you need to be there and you need to conquer and face it. When you've conquered and faced it and you're like, all right, I can handle this, then you can make a logical decision to move on, not from a place of weakness, but from one of strength, right? You got to conquer that level first before you can go on to another. Because I tell you what's going to happen. You go to another job, you go to another environment, and that one seems great. It's, you know, the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. And then you find the same shit, okay? Because that's what life is. Because Marcus Aurelius said it in his Meditations, which is his personal journal. All right, he was talking about, like, you know, when you wake up in the morning, all right, recognize that people are going to be jerks. They're going to be greedy. They're going to be selfish. They're going to be slobs. You know, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, recognize that people are going to treat you poorly. They're going to cheat you. They're going to steal. They're going to betray you. All of these things. And he's like, that's just par for the course, right? And so the thing is to realize that all things, all environments are going to have their issues. And trying to run away and trying to escape to different places is not going to solve those issues, right? It's more important to solve the actual issues within yourself, not within the other people. You can't change other people, but within yourself, so you can tolerate those things, and then you're ready to move on. You're not ready to move on until you've conquered, until you've made it. So I know that's a lot off of like 3 sentences, but hey, this is important because I don't like to see that you've quit. What I don't want you to do is to say, I dropped out of college at 18 due to the fact that I absolutely hated it. Okay. And think that that's okay and justified in any way. It's not. Now it's a past. It's what happened. I'm not going to blame you for it. You can't beat yourself up for it, but just recognize that this is not the choices that you should be making, and not based on those things. Can you drop out of high school? Sure. Fine. Right. For a different reason, not for the reason that you hated it. That's not the reason to drop out. It's not the reason to quit things. All right. The reason to quit things is because it's a logical choice that you make. All right. So I decided to go for it and get my GED. Good. All right. It appears, however, that since I'm unbelievably bad at math, I cannot get it. And well, honestly, I never will. Well, I can tell by your sentence structure that you're not a dumb guy, Chris. All right. You're a smart guy. All right. You're a very smart guy. I would imagine more than you even know. The problem is this, right? So there's a really good book I want you to read. All right. It's by Dweck. It's called Mindset, the New Psychology of Success. All right. In that book, she talks about 2 mindsets, right? There's a fixed mindset and there's a growth mindset. Now, the fixed mindset says something like, I am unbelievably bad at math. Okay. The growth mindset says, I could become better at math. My skill in math is at a low level right now. Because is it true that you're unbelievably bad at math? Is that true that that's a fixed attribute of you, Chris? You're bad at math right now, perhaps. Okay, fine. I will give you that. But you're not unbelievably bad at math. That's not true. Okay. You are like the scrawny kid in the gym who hasn't lifted any weights and is saying, I suck at lifting weights. Wah, wah, wah. No, apply yourself and focus. If you let me give you another. Okay. I like to look at different frames. All right. Imagine if you spent 3 hours a day focused on math every single day. Would you get better at math? If you did that, if you did 3 hours a day, focused on just math, no result in mind. Okay. I'm just going to focus on it. I don't even have to be good. I just need to just focus and try to learn things and improve my math skills. If you did that every day for 30 days, at the end of 30 days, do you think that you would be better at math than you were at the beginning? Okay. Now, if you honestly think that you wouldn't be better, I don't think that's true. Then okay. Then I can see. Then we have some more work to do. But if you would admit that you would even get a little bit better, that means it's not hopeless. That means that you could do it. That you could spend 30 days and then another 30 days, another 30 days. Maybe it would take you a year to catch up to a point where you're not unbelievably bad at math, where you're decent at math. Okay? But then you'd be there if you're willing to put in the work. There's one of the things that I've learned in life, okay? I'm not the smartest guy, all right? But one thing I figured out was that when I couldn't outsmart people, I could just outwork them. I figured out that the brute force method works pretty damn well. I remember one time there was this combination lock, okay, that had 4 combinations, 4 digits on it. And I wanted to open the lock. And I was like trying to figure out, guess what this, I think it was one of my buddies, guess his combination. I was like, what 4 digits would he put? His birthday, right? And then I was like, you know what I could do, right? I could try 1,000 combinations and then the lock will open. All right. Now it's a pretty shitty lock that only has that, but I figured out, hey, I could, and I did. And it opened probably about halfway through because that's about what the odds say. So sometimes in life, it doesn't matter what you're dealt. You can outwork, you can become, I mean, again, I take my own life, right? In the sense that I'm 250 pounds. Now I was like 230 or so. Am I a marathon runner? Okay. I don't have the genetics for it at all. But I ran marathons. How? Well, I had to train harder than other people. There's some people, okay, there's a friend of mine, all right, we just went for a 10-mile run. Now, I trained, like running 10 miles is a big deal to me. He just came with me and just ran 10 miles, okay? Didn't really run, didn't really train. I mean, he's a skinny guy. He's got probably the right genetics for the the slow twitch muscle fibers and whatnot. And he just ran 10 miles. Okay. Now I had to train in order for me to run 10 miles. It took it took months of training. I can't just run 10 miles. I mean, I had to build that up. So maybe you have to work harder in order to be good at math in order to pass your GED. Do it. All right. I know this is long-winded, but I'm going to kick you in your balls before life does. All right. So I cannot get it. And well, honestly, I never will. We already discussed that. Is that really true? Right? Is that really true that you never will? All right. One of the things, I'm going to tell you another thing because I'm a philosopher. Okay. When I philosophize with people, this is what I do. I always look for the extreme edge cases, like the furthest case in order to prove a point, because principles, right? So when you look at a principle, right, the thing you have to do is you have to say, well, does this principle apply in the most extreme case? Right. So someone once said to me, it's worth sacrificing someone's life for the greater good. And I said, no, it's never. You cannot sacrifice one person, even if you save 1 million people. And so I took it two extreme ways, right? They said, no, there's some times where it would be worth sacrificing one person to save 1 million people. And I said, well, okay, let's suppose you have this 7-year-old girl, okay? And inside of her heart is this cure for like this, there's this plague. 1 million people will die unless you perform open heart surgery on this girl without anesthesia, because the anesthesia will destroy this chemical compound that's in her heart that is the cure it'll save 1 million people from dying. Would you sacrifice this one innocent 7-year-old girl, cut her open without anesthesia and kill her to take what's in her heart to kill to save those 1 million people? Most people would say no. That's testing the principle to the extreme. Now, some people might say yes. Okay. But then I take it to the other end. I say, no, that means that I wouldn't go back in time and kill baby Hitler. And I wouldn't, because it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. So I know we're getting off track, but I want to teach you a little bit of other pieces here in philosophy. But what I'm saying here is that when you say, I cannot get it, and well, honestly, I never will, is it true that you never will? So I want you to test this. I want you to say, is there any circumstance in which you will get it and get better at math? Is there any circumstance? Okay. And I know that you guys sound like, why are you harping so much on this? Because it's not about the math. All right. A lot of you guys are watching this. It's not about the math. It's something in your life that you're saying you'll never do it. Is that true? Is there no circumstance under which you will get better at math, better at whatever it is that you're trying to do in life? Okay. There's some circumstance. So there's a way to make it happen. All right. Let's keep going here. So, okay. I suck at math just as bad as I do at life itself. Again, not true. And this is another important point. We're going to go on a lot of side tangents here, but guys, be careful what you tell yourself, because you're listening. Your subconscious is listening. All right. Don't tell yourself this. Again, I talked about framing. I frame things in really good ways. Okay. No matter what you tell me, I'm going to figure out a way that it's a good thing, that's an advantage for me, it's good, because the road rises up to meet me. Okay. I live a semi-charmed life. Everything happens in life for my good. Right. It sounds like some new age BS that I'm smoking in my pipe, but it's true. Because I make it true, because that's the only way to live your life. Any other way, you're going to be depressed and sad, and you're not going to reach your full potential. It doesn't matter. Everything is perception. There's no reality, in the sense that you've never seen reality. You've never touched, you've never tasted reality. It's only a chemical process that has occurred in your brain. Okay, that may not even really be out there. You're just trusting all of these electrical impulses that are in your brain. You haven't actually seen anything. You've only had photons reflect off something, go into your eyeball, right? Hit the back of your retina, which is converted into a electrical signal in your brain, and your brain has processed that and said, that's red, right? So I cannot obtain my goals, which I won't get into college, is one of them, which I won't get. Yeah. Okay. And I have had an overall shitty life experience. Yeah. I agree. You've had an overall shitty life experience. So let's start changing that around. Just like I said, let's change the frame. Let's make it so that you've had a wonderful life experience. Let's turn this around. Let's be like, hey, look, I want you to be a guy that's talking on a TED Talk on stage one day saying all of these things that I thought were shitty in my life. They happen for a reason. So I could be here today, and so I could relate to you, and I could tell you that if I can do it, if I can change, then you can too. And those things, even though I looked at them as bad at the time, they were actually good because they made me a stronger person. They made me overcome these obstacles, and I wouldn't be here talking to you today if that didn't occur. That could be your life. It doesn't have to be a TED Talk. It doesn't have to be a stage. It could be one person who you changed their life because you didn't give up on yourself and you showed them that you're not going to give up on them. I've mentioned other issues in my life, from my lady problems to the fact that I hate it where I'm at, but it seems that maybe I'm not meant for life. No, man, you're a kid, man. You're young. Life is tough. I told you life is going to kick you in the balls a lot of times. You're going to have lady problems. You're going to have other problems and issues in your life. Okay. It's fine. You have to change the frame on this thing. There's no one that's not meant for life. Everything happens, I believe, for a reason. All right. I was talking to Mark from the Universal Man, and he had a really good concept. He talked about this idea. He's like, you have an intrinsic quality to yourself that is valuable. I want to call it divine. You know, like everyone has this value. And when you see that value, and you hold yourself, you have your identity as, I am a valuable person, then you start to act like a valuable person. You act differently. You treat yourself differently. Now, I'm told that my view is weak and even wrong because I'm rejecting a precious gift, but honestly, I don't see it. Okay? So, you don't see the precious gift. That's fine. I mean, hopefully, what I've said kind of makes you see it. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You're not rejecting a precious gift. It's fine. Your view isn't necessarily weak and wrong. Okay. It's just, it's not helpful, right? You should let go of all the things in your life that don't serve you, right? So if I have a thought in my mind and it doesn't serve me, well, I hold on to that thought. It doesn't help me, right? You know, people can tell me whatever they want. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Now, I cannot even see what you mean by life is gravy when to me it isn't. Okay. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by life is gravy? I mean that if you're breathing, I mean to reset your base level of expectations. The reason why you can't see life as gravy is because you have an expectation on life to be up here and your life is here. Okay. See, my expectation on life right now, I'm not going to say it's at the exact rock bottom, but it's pretty close. I don't have very many expectations, right? I like breathing. Breathing is good. Not being cold is good. All right. Being able to have a bed to sleep in, good. All right. Having some food to eat, good. All right. That's it. If I have those things happening, all right, then everything else on top of that is gravy because my expectation level is here. See, if I had my expectation level of I need to live in a penthouse and I need to make $1 million a month and I need to have 3 bikini-clad supermodels feeding me breakfast every morning and no one should ever say anything bad. No, if I search Bulldog Mindset on YouTube, there better not be people talking shit about me. All right, then my life it's not going to be gravy until all those things are met, and then whatever's extra on top of that, then I'm like, that life is gravy. Okay. you have to set the level of expectation low. That's how life becomes gravy. If your expectations are low, right? Seneca said that it's not, I'm paraphrasing, but it's not money that makes a man. Okay. It's not that makes you wealthy, right? It is desiring less. You become rich not by having more, but by desiring less. That is how you become wealthy. That's how you become happy in life. Because then everything you get, you're like, it's Christmas. I just got something. I didn't deserve it. I didn't expect it. All right. The higher expectation. Have you ever, here's a good one for you. All right. Sometimes I get like big contracts or something. I remember I got this $15,000 contract. All right. And they paid me up front. And then I had to do some work to earn the $15,000. Okay. So how did I feel about that contract, about doing that work? Well, I already got the reward. So I didn't feel so good about doing it. I was like, I don't really feel like. Now, if I were doing the work and then I was going to get paid afterwards, I would feel better about that. So You see what I'm saying? It's all about that expectation, right? If you have that expectation lower, like it's when you already have that high expectation, like I said, with that contract where I already had the $15,000, then there's nothing, there's no good. It's not like a gift to me because I already got it, right? So anyway, let's move on here. All right. I know it isn't, in referring to life being gravy. Sadly, as a man, I am not allowed to be displeased or angry, but have to silently take it. Okay, here's some tough love here. This is the victim mindset. This is the toxic femininity. This is the toxic masculinity that the world says that you have. Guys can't cry, and guys aren't allowed to be displeased or angry. Otherwise, they're not being real men. Okay, that's true. I'm sorry, but masculinity is being strong. It's not having the victim mindset. You can't be a man and have the victim mindset. Choose one. That's just how it is. You got to step up as a man. You got to, think about it. Like, you got it easy. You just got to you got to go to high school. You got to learn some math, get your GED, whatever. All right. You're called to be a strong, deal with circumstances in life. You're not, if you go back in time, all right, to caveman days and shit, all right, your responsibility would be, it'd be like you're sitting around the fire and they're like, hey, that rustling in the woods, probably like a saber-toothed tiger or something. You're the man. Go check it out. Go get your club. Go defend the campfire against these animals that are going to attack us. You're expected to do that. You're expected to die. You got to fight the other tribe. You see what I'm saying? Like, your responsibilities as a man, stepping up and being tough, you're not being asked for much. I'm just asking you as a man, as your role as a man, to not be angry, which means to not have expectations, and to be displeased. That's fine. You could be displeased, okay? But you can't be complaining, right? Never complain, explain, or apologize in general. Those are, all right, there's some exceptions to those rules, but for the most part, that's how you should be living your life. Okay, so being displeased and angry all the time, you don't have to silently take it, but you should not complain about things, and you should deal with them. Okay, I'm not saying suppress your emotions. I have okay. So if you guys haven't joined already, Bulldog Mindset membership, $7 for the first month. The link is down below. The price has gone up already. It's going to keep on going up. I just did a huge masterclass. It was a huge amount of value. You get access to that as well. So it's just getting more and more stuff. But the reason I'm saying that is because I have a lesson in there about the levels of emotional mastery. Okay. And I talked about, I think I have a video on this channel as well, but check out the Bulldog Mindset membership. You get some help in there too, with guys that will help coach you and counsel you and get some direct help from me as well. But the thing is, you can do three things with emotions. You can express them, you can suppress them, or you can process them. I don't want you to stuff it down and silently take it. I want you to process the emotions, not express them either. Process them. That means to be like, hey, this displeased me. All right. Am I okay with that? Can I deal with that? All right. What's the source of that? What's the source of my displeasure? What action do I need to take to remedy this situation from a logical perspective? All right. I'm feeling a little bit of anger right now. Well, okay, that's fine. All right, I'm not going to hold on to the anger. I don't need to fume in it. But why am I feeling angry? What expectation do I have that is not being met that is causing me to have this anger right now? And how can I let that expectation go and make a rational, logical choice, right? Do I need to show the world that I'm angry or displeased? No, it doesn't matter because no one cares. And it doesn't matter. That's not the way to deal with it. So I dislike this phraseology because it is the same thing that a lot of feminists are saying about men is saying that, oh, it's toxic masculinity. Men have to be strong and is okay. But let me tell you something. And this is important to understand in life, guys. Women tell you, right? A lot of feminists will be like, yeah, men should be able to be emotional and there's no difference between men and women. And there's like, men should be able to cry and all of this stuff, right? And they should be able to express their emotions. All right. But if you do that, woman will not be attracted to you. She will not be sexually attracted. Now, again, I'm not saying you can't ever express your emotions, but positive ones. Okay? You don't dump. You're not the shoulder to cry. You're not the crying on the shoulder person. You're the shoulder to cry on. You're strong as a man. women want a strong man. Masculinity. Femininity wants masculinity. That's the truth. That's a harsh truth of life. So you can listen and you can be like, well, the girls say that I should be more expressive of my feelings and I shouldn't, it's toxic masculinity to like try to be strong. And no, real strength, true strength actually includes vulnerability. All right. Not weakness, vulnerability. There's a difference here. I hash with some guys about this, but my view on it is plain and simple. Vulnerability is strength. All right. But weakness is when you cry about it, when you whine about it, when you see it as victimized. Okay. So I don't see why I should or could. I am at a precipice now and ready to go over. So I know what this means. I can read the code words. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. I've got some videos, probably like 3 or 4 videos if you search for suicide on my channel here. All right. It's not worth it. At the very least, take a free roll in life and relieve all pressure and weight from you and say, I can do whatever I want. I don't care. I was going to die anyway. So I might as well live my best life. Now, it doesn't mean to go and be violent, and I'm not saying any of those things. Like, don't cause other people harm. But I'm saying, what if you said, I'm going to die anyway, and you took all the pressures of your life off of you, and you said, I might as well just do whatever I want because I'm going to die anyway. I was going to do it myself. I was going to die anyway. So maybe it doesn't matter if I fail at things. Maybe it doesn't matter if I take the chances. Maybe it doesn't matter what people think about me because I was going to die anyway. And guess what, guys? That is actually the reality because you are going to die anyway.